Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Entertainment Newsbreak. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Taylor. This week we have a mixture of comedy and superhero action coming your way in theaters this week. Also, we'll be giving you the scoop on what's streaming to Netflix this coming week.
The first movie on our list is Kevin Hart's newest stand-up special, What Now? If you are a fan of the stand-up comedy, look no further than this tour and a half train of pure laughter. Unlike other stand-up comedy films, it depicts a bit of narrative mixed with the actual stand-up act. The film will be hitting theaters on October 14th and features such stars as Halle Berry and Don Cheadle along with Hart. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Superhero films are always a major hit at the box office. Our next movie is looking to follow in the footsteps of the other superhero flicks that came before it. Max Steel follows Mac McGarth, who finds out that he harnesses a power to control the energy that surrounds him after his father's mysterious disappearance. Upon realizing that he joins forces with a robot named Steel, who is designed to help him learn his true potential with his superpowers. Will Max be able to save the day? Let's check out the trailer.
Netflix is bringing a few new titles to its streaming lineup this week. On October 13th, the DC superhero show DC's Legends of Tomorrow Season 1 becomes available for viewers to watch. On October 15th, a new Netflix original series, Glitch, will be streaming its first season and is looking to live up to Netflix's already stacked lineup of original television shows. And finally, the second season of the sci-fi original Dark Matter will be streaming on Netflix on October 16th.
Also coming to the streaming site this week, we have the 2016 movie Justin Timberlake and the Tennessee Kids, starring, you guessed it, Justin Timberlake, streaming on Netflix October 12th. Next week, we have a new Netflix original movie titled Mascots, which will be able to stream on October 13th. Make sure to check out these new titles.
Up next, we have Talon with a discussion on parody movies.
Stay tuned.
Hi, we're back with our discussions with Mike and Mercedes. So, parody movies, what are you guys' thoughts on those?
Well, some were better than others, obviously. Scary Movie 3 is my all-time favorite scary movie. Scary Movie 5, however, that's the worst piece of garbage I've ever seen in my life. And I'm sad to say that I wasted $10 on a movie ticket to go see it because my friends wanted to go see it.
What about you?
I hate parodies. Like, the Scary Movie parodies aren't that bad, but like parodies of like popular movies like Vampires suck. Given Twilight was terrible to begin with.
True.
But you know, they have Vampires suck, and then I also saw The Starving Games, which it was pretty.
That was so bad.
It was pretty dumb. Yeah.
So bad.
I just
2 hours or an hour and a half, I will never get back.
I just think it's really interesting how they get away with making such terrible movies that are like never nominated for anything.
Do you think that's the goal of them, is to make them bad?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just to make people laugh, and they think like being a bad movie might make some people laugh, but I don't think it's enough to make like a bunch of people laugh where it is to sell a bunch of copies, which would be the ultimate like focus to do, sell as much as you can.
What do you think make or breaks a parody movie?
I think the characters, like, the reason why Scary Movie 1 through 4 were decent was because of my favorite character, Brenda. She was the best, she was my favorite character. I know all of her lines in all the movies, and me and my friend just quote them the whole time. I think it's the characters that are funny, because Brenda's hilarious to me.
I honestly think like the overall quality and like the budget that they have to work with makes or breaks it. You know, like I feel like parody movies could have potential if they did it correctly. Like if it wasn't so, you know, cheaply made. I feel like making any kind of parody of anything has good potential because people like making fun of things like Twilight. You know, especially if the original movie is so terrible. But I feel like they really have to put in a lot of effort and time and not just try to like, you know, get it out really quickly and cheaply with the small amount of money that they have.
Well, I mean, even Scream, the series, that's technically a parody of horror movies, even though it's not like the funny parody that we're used to.
Yeah.
But just like plays on the cliches like, oh, girl runs upstairs instead of going out the front door, or the girl answers the phone and won't hang up and call the cops for some reason. which I'm still salty about. I don't know, I don't understand some things.
What is your favorite or least favorite parody movie?
I don't know. I guess like if I were to have to watch a parody, I would watch the scary movies because I've seen them multiple times and I can deal with sitting through it. But I'm not a fan of parody movies. Like I honestly, I just wonder why. Like why did they start? Why do they exist?
Well, thank you, Mercedes. Thank you, Mike. That's all we have now. We'll be taking a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have Taylor and Brandon with more news and television. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back. We have a lineup of popular comedies and dramas coming your way this week. The season 2 premiere sees Supergirl and Clark teaming up to stop a new threat emerging in Central City. Elsewhere, Alex feels left out while Kara's family stays in town. See what happens when a mysterious pod comes barreling towards Earth. Be sure to check out Supergirl on its new network, the CW, October 10th. Let's check out the trailer.
Two Broke Girls is back for its 6th season on October 10th on CBS with a 1-hour season premiere. In the premiere, Max and Caroline put the finishing touches on their new dessert bar. See how the grand opening unfolds when their upstairs neighbor Sophie goes into labor.
Another ABC hit comedy is coming back for its 8th season. The Middle sees the dysfunctional Heck family trying to survive life in Orson, Indiana. In the premiere, you can expect lots of laughs and a little drama when the parent meets Axel's new girlfriend. Be sure to check out this comedy on October 11th.
Fresh Off the Boat is another ABC hit comedy that follows a Taiwanese family as they try to fit into the American lifestyle during the 1990s. The season 3 premiere sees the Hung family finally traveling to Taiwan to set things right with Louis' estranged brother, Gene. See what happens when this crazy family travels halfway across the world on October 11th on ABC. Let's check out the trailer.
Supernatural is one of CW's longest running series, and it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. This series has run for 11 seasons, and season 12 is just around the corner. Supernatural has also been renewed for a 13th season. See where season 12 will take the Demon Hunters on Thursday, October 13th on the CW.
Hi, I'm Talon, and on today's discussion, I have Lindsay and Brandon. We're going to talk about whitewashing. So why do you guys think movies whitewash?
Well, because it's easier to cast a big name that everybody knows instead of an actor that, while ethnicity-wise is closer to what should be, that role in the film. It's easier to just cast, Brad Pitt, or with the recent Ghost in the Shell movie, Scarlett Johansson, as somebody that I guess stands out more. Yeah, I guess the big question is, just is that okay? And is there enough actors in that area that is there enough actors of that ethnicity? Some people bring that up, and I don't agree with that. There's probably tons of actors out there in America. It's a big melting pot. You're going to find somebody that can play that role, but Scarlett Johansson, for example, is just a bigger name.
So, do we care about this happening at all? Does it make an impact on us?
I think it's important because I think having representation is important. You see little kids that never a little Asian kid goes to watch an anime and then watches the movie and it's why are all these people white? Why?
Right.
And it doesn't really, if it takes place in Japan and everyone is white, that doesn't make sense to the movie. You should stick with the origins of the film,
Yeah, that's been going on forever, and it's gotten better with time, but even back in the days with the original Pokemon, the people that worked on that show would censor it to make it more American. I think there's scenes in the show where the characters are eating rice balls, and they censor it so they're eating a hot dog or something.
It doesn't make any sense. It's not central to the story.
Yeah, they just animate over it. It's crazy.
Could we compare whitewashing to blackface or yellowface?
Sort of, because it is sort of racist in a sense because it is just subtracting these people. I mean, to be fair, I don't think their motive is necessarily racism. It's just casting somebody that is going to bring in a bigger audience because they're more recognizable. But it can be misconstrued that way. Sometimes it very much so. M. Night Shyamalan's live-action version of Avatar: The Last Airbender had like, he was like, okay, so this nation's gonna be this ethnicity, and like there were some people that were like, oh, they should have kept that consistent, or oh, they used the wrong ethnicities that the show implied, or stuff like that. Like the biggest problem that I had with it was that they casted familiar like big name people that were Caucasian to live in this Inuit village of like Eskimo characters, while everybody else in that village was Inuit, and they're just for some reason white even though their grandmother's Inuit.
Yeah, do you think that reflects on that movie not doing that well?
No, because that
Was it
movie
just
in
a
general.
bad movie?
No, it was a bad movie. It was a poor example of filmmaking, and that was just like the whitewashing was just like the tip of the iceberg that people fixated on, instead of just the fact that it was just a poorly made film.
So do we think the movie industry's main goal is the success of the movie more than coming off as racist then?
I definitely think so, and you can tell with any other like parts of the industry, even the Oscars. Like, look at who all's there, and look when you do have representation, who doesn't get credit for it.
Yeah. There's some steps being taken to cut it off. Like Disney's recent Hawaiian-based movie does have a Hawaiian actress in it, but she's only in a supporting role.
That's all we have for now. We'll be right back after this.
Hey guys, I'm Tiffany with this week's Box Office Top 5. Making $8.3 million this week, sitting at number 5 is the story of the man who emergency landed an airplane on the Hudson River. Sully follows the national hero, Chesley Sullenberger, in the events after making the famous emergency landing on the Hudson River in New York. This hero has saved all 155 passengers and crew members. Despite the countless awards and fame he received, he now faces an investigation that could ruin his career. Coming in at number 4 is DreamWorks animated comedy Storks, making $13.5 million. Storks used to deliver babies, but now their new job is to bring in packages to customers from an online store. Until one stork accidentally starts up the baby making machine and created one. Now the stork's mission is to bring the baby to its family. Watch this movie and see the trip that can maybe reveal the stork's true existence, and we have them delivering babies again. At number 3 with $15.6 million is the crime-fighting western The Magnificent Seven. The residents of Rose Creek turn to a bounty hunter named Sam Chisholm, who is played by Denzel Washington. Chisholm then gathers an electric group of gangsters to take on the gang terrorizing the town. Once the showdown begins, Chisholm and the rest of the Magnificent Seven soon find out they're fighting for more than just money. Succeeding at number 2 with $20.2 million is the thriller Deepwater Horizon. Based on the true story of the oil rig that exploded in the Gulf of Mexico, Deepwater Horizon follows Mike Williams and colleagues fighting to survive and get off the rig. As the fire gets more powerful by the minute, they have to come together and use their minds to find a way out alive before it's too late. Our box office number 1 leading movie, which had made $28.9 million, is Tim Burton's reimagining of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This movie, which has based on the best-selling book, shows a man named Jake trying to solve clues to a mystery that goes beyond time. He finds Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, but the mystery gets dangerous as he gets to know the residents and learns about their so-called special powers and their enemies. Ultimately, Jake discovers that only his own special peculiarity can save his new friends. Well guys, that's all we have in box office news this week. Be sure to tune in next week to see if your favorite new movie made it to the top 5. Up next, we have Talon with a discussion on whether or not awards make good movies.
Hi, I'm here with Mercedes and Mike, and we're going to talk about movies that suck that got awards. So what do you guys think?
Well, we disagree on The Grinch, because The Grinch was great.
Which Grinch?
The one with Jim Carrey.
2000. It won an Oscar for something, and it did not. I don't think it deserved an Oscar. It's so bad. Like, The Grinch is so bad.
I mean, it's bad, but it's good.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I hated that movie as a kid. Like, I was so terrified all the time.
I loved it.
The only part that I vaguely remember is the entirety of Jim Carrey's existence. You know, and nothing sticks out in my mind about it.
Done it with 6:30 with myself. Like, I can't cancel that. No? There's so many great.
No.
What stuck out for you that made you
Jim
like
Carrey. He was great.
I don't
So
like Jim Carrey.
He was
made the movie deserve an
yes,
Oscar.
No.
because of all the lines.
Does Jim Carrey deserve an Oscar?
For
Nothing.
I don't know.
No,
but,
nothing.
But The Grinch was great.
Grinch was great.
The one movie that came to mind was Mad Max this past year. Won a bunch. And I saw it. It was all right. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Do you think it won because of how weird it was and all the different aspects of what it had in this movie?
Maybe.
Because I saw it myself and I just
Maybe
didn't
like it was
understand.
a decent movie, but I didn't get it to the fact that it needs to win all these awards. And also another thing, like all the Best Picture movies that were up for nomination, I haven't heard of any of them, and none of them interest me whatsoever. Like The Revenant, that didn't interest me at all.
It was a good movie.
Was it?
It was a good
doesn't
movie,
interest
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I was looking at like an online list of some of the worst movies that won Oscars, and there are a lot of really good movies. Like, was the DiCaprio one? Where based on the book. I'm drawing a blank.
This is a great movie.
The one.
That's why it won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where he's rich and stuff. Wolf of
Wall
Wall
Street.
Street. Yeah.
Wall Street
I
was
didn't watch
Oh my god.
the greatest movie ever, honestly.
Is it? I never
it was
watched
on
it.
a list of terrible movies that won Oscars.
I never watched it because it's like 3 hours long.
It
and I
could have
don't
been
have that time.
terrible
I
ethically,
haven't watched
but
it. But like, they also said like The Help is a terrible movie, and that is such
The
a
Help
good
is great.
movie.
That's a good movie.
That's a good
That's a
movie.
good movie.
But they did have some understandable ones, like The Grinch.
That's not understandable.
And they also had like Avatar, like with the blue people.
I liked
Yeah,
Avatar.
You liked it?
Yeah, I liked
I
Avatar.
didn't.
That deserved an Oscar.
I have
yes.
like
I didn't.
mixed feelings. Like I feel like the time, like the year that it was made was like good for it, but like it's also just
not-
too long.
And it's not memorable at all. Name a
No.
scene. Name a scene in Avatar.
The scene where all the blue people were
Yeah.
like they were, they
the-
were in the tree.
Yeah, the magical tree.
The magical
Yeah.
tree, and that was that whole thing.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
that whole
just-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't like that movie because nothing's memorable about it.
It's
And you may
he's
feel
in a
the same
wheelchair.
about
What?
The Grinch,
So the
but-
guy's in a wheelchair, and
Yeah?
he goes into this machine, and just becomes this big, gigantic blue person.
So you watched the trailer?
Yeah, I don't.
No, I didn't.
I don't understand that.
What?
Like, why? How does he become a blue person? Like, I don't.
Just
get it.
this machine. It's
Yeah.
just technology.
I-
We're gonna get to be those blue people one day, don't you think? We're gonna all star in a movie that's gonna get an Oscar, and we're gonna have another discussion of how that movie sucked. But it's because
True,
we're
true,
that
true.
excited about it.
Fair.
That is true.
Once again, thanks Mercedes, thanks Mike. No problem. Well, that's all we have for this discussion. We'll be taking a short commercial break, and after that, Tyrone will be reporting on the latest announcements in the industry. Don't miss it.
Hi guys, this is Tyrone with this week's news in the industry. This season, The Voice will be having not one, but 2 of the key advisors to help the coaches mentor the season 11 finalists, Faith Hall and Tim McGraw. Country's favorite married couple will be stepping in together to help. This is the first time that The Voice will have more than one key advisor, so we can only wait to see how it turns out. Check out The Voice Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on NBC. The live-action film for Disney's Mulan has finally announced a release date for November 2nd, 2018. Disney also announced that they are in a worldwide search for the Chinese actress to play the role. Fans of the movie took a petition asking the company to hire a racially accurate actress for the role. Now that they are excited to see their pleas have been answered. If you're a die-hard American Horror Story fan, you probably already heard that they have announced the works for a 7th season already. For those that don't know, the show presents viewers' worst fears with the new theme each season. The theme for the 7th season has yet been announced along with the 7th season. Producer Ryan Murphy is working on getting the show renewed for an 8th season, along with the works for a secret season as well. YouTube star Colin Bollinger, better known as Miranda Sing, has announced that she will be releasing her own Netflix original series later this month. Not much is known about the series yet, but the fans of the YouTube star can assume that the show will reflect more of a personal life of Miranda and her silly attitude. The series, Haters Back Off, has been scheduled to release on Netflix on October 14. It was announced last Thursday that Green Day's American Idiot has been given the green light from HBO. The film is currently in pre-production with several rewrites. It has also been confirmed that Billy Joe will be playing his Broadway character, St. Jimmy. Green Day fans are more than excited for the film. Not much is known about the production of the film or who will be starring in it. Well, everyone, that's all we have for this week's the insider news in the industry. Stay Stay tuned and back with us next week for more. Up next, we have Talon with another discussion to close out the night. Stay tuned.
And we're back this time with Sam and Brandon. So when is it time to end a TV show?
You want to go take this one?
Sure. Normally, like, that's the thing, like, with most American TV shows, it's like, we put out this, and it's going to run for this number of episodes, and if it's successful, we'll make more of them. And there's you know, producers tackle this with all kinds of strategies. Some are like, we have a set story that's going to be this number of episodes, though normally it's just, we'll keep making them as long as people want them. And after that goes for a while, then it kind of just becomes bad because they're just kind of spinning their wheels eventually. The Simpsons, for example.
That's a good example. No, I mean, there's been a lot of TV shows like the NCIS. How many spin-offs have they made of that?
Right.
Like 50 of them. Those they don't need that many. I mean, I like Scott Bakula. He's doing the New Orleans one that just came out. But man, you don't need to do any more of those. And then there's shows that are like Psych. Actually, no, Psych's a bad example. Dexter ran its course too long. I think it went 8 seasons, and after the 4th season, it really started to decline. I know they have stories they want to do, but at the same time, like, you got to understand, like, you run out of ideas and you keep repeating ideas. It just doesn't work. And one more show that came on that's going to cancel after 3 seasons is Bloodlines. It's on Netflix. It stars Kyle Chandler. That show is ending after 3 seasons, so it's on. I think they're starting the 3rd season soon. But they announced that, and I think a lot of people are happy. Like, fans are happy about it. Even the producers, they're like, we don't have any more story, and we don't want to drag it out. So I mean, that's a show that's like, we could make more money off of this thing. This could be a cash cow eventually, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to tarnish the legacy of the show. So
like killing it respectfully.
Yeah, and that's I think a good thing. SpongeBob is ending soon, but that's had how many years? Who knows? But
Brandon, are there any shows that you think need to end?
Well, I mean, SpongeBob's a good example. The creator of the show dropped off by season 3 after the film was made. So after that, it's like they've been just spinning their wheels and just coming up with ideas. And frankly, character interpretations have just gotten worse and worse over time.
They have.
Yeah, just, oh well. Like, if there's a show that I felt like I'm currently working my way through X-Files, and people tell me that show was good up until the end of season 4, and that show ran for 9 seasons. So I might just watch some of the later ones just for fun.
See what happens, yeah.
What are you guys' opinions on shows like Lost and Law and Order, which have had so many seasons?
Like I said about the Dexter thing, Lost just, lack of a better term, they lost themselves. Like, they really did. They got into a convoluted plot that they just couldn't. Like, they were like, oh, let's do all this stuff, but then they're like, well, we didn't really want to do that, so now we're gonna flash sideways and now flash backwards and flash forwards and flash how many different ways. And you're just like, I don't understand what's going on anymore. And it's really confusing for the viewer. And you just kind of like, people were really upset about the Lost finale. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but like, people were really upset about it. And the show probably could have avoided that if they would have ended sooner. So.
Yeah, I doubt shows like Law and Order and CSI and all their different spin-offs are gonna die anytime soon, because they can just recreate themselves with a new cast, and it's a new show basically. Yeah. So it could just keep going forever.
Yeah, and then like, what's that? Pretty Little Liars. Gosh. Goodness gracious. My girlfriend watches that show, and my mom watches that show, and they all tell me, they're like, I don't know why I still watch it. They're like, I just have to finish it at this point. They're like, it's horrible, but I just have to finish it, see how it ends. And it's just like, it's never gonna end. They're gonna be like 50 seasons later, and they're gonna be really old women trying to track down this killer A who's probably already been dead for 50 years. So it's just, it's gonna turn into the X-Files. I don't know. It's gonna be something weird. It's sci-fi.
It's just gonna keep going on and on and on.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, Sam. Thanks, Brandon. That's all we have tonight. Don't forget to check out Entertainment News Break on Twitter at ENB_IUP-TV, and also our Facebook page. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Same time, same place. See you then.